think Corporate Mundo might have been one too, or though it might just been with the community kind of environment, but I'm not too sure about that one either.
Anyways, real quick, just for everyone now jumping in and watching, this is the semis game, TGF versus Reflex.
Legion.
Or sorry, Legion, which...
Yeah, you got to get confused. They got a new sponsor now.
Yeah, they got a new sponsor. Formerly Reflex, now Legion. Now, today casting with me... go ahead and real quick, before any action happens, tell them who you are, since I've never casted with you before.
That's fine. Of course, everybody knows ColbyCheeZe. My name's Optimus Tom. I'm part of the GG Chronicle community. I host a couple shows. I do a lot of casting, and I think I know how to play this game, but I really don't.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. And so, yeah, pretty good little... casting voice here. I'm looking forward to casting with you. Thanks for helping out today, by the way, in the last minute's notice.
Hey, no problem. Legion was actually seeing, oh, if we don't have a caster for the game from CSM, you want to cast? I was like, sure. So I was all primed and ready. And you're like, I need a caster. I'm like, hey, I'm right here.
There we go. Perfect. Looks like everyone is kind of playing it safe and watching their own jungle pass. I don't believe we're going to see any invasions happen just yet. Nidalee traps being placed down to kind of block around that river area. Same thing with the Maokai saplings, and even a ward placed here by TGF to watch their own jungle. So yeah, very, very cautious start.
Yeah, they're kind of setting up what I sometimes refer to as like the line of scrimmage. Everybody's lining up and waiting for the ball to be snapped, seeing who's going to make the first move. If not, they're just going to go continue on their own safe little jungle patterns. You can even see with the ward placed from TGF down here in their own jungle, they kind of have every kind of inch of the river covered, and it's just this awkward standoff before, like, say a center would hike the ball in football. I'm like, in this case, the creep spawning would be like the same kind of metaphorical ball being hiked. But we see no real jungle invades going on. We saw Maokai starting off with those rates and heading over to his blue buff. He's going to be picking that one up before people go back to the lanes and settle. Mundo starting with his, looked like he started with his rates going into his wolves and then picking up a blue buff. So very standard stuff coming out of both sides so far.
Yep, definitely sounds good here, and no counter jungling yet. I'm curious if we're going to see Mundo running into the red area and trying to do that. I've seen Mundos do that quite often. Of course, he is a little bit low. I don't know if he's going to necessarily pull something like that off safely.
He's actually started with a Ruby Crystal, which is interesting to see. Normally see him picking up either Cloth Armor 5, maybe Boots and 3 health potions, but I'm guessing Koala feeling very safe on his Jungle Mundo pattern, does not need any of those health potions to go on. I don't expect him to be very aggressive with counter jungling early on because of that, at least until his first trip back. Yep,
very true. So right now, bottom seems fairly safe. I think that we're not going to see a lot of action until probably like level 2 or 3, whenever that Riven, sorry, not Riven, but whenever she gets her
distracted by the Battle Bunny skin. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to think about Riven this whole game here. Yeah, but once we get all of our abilities set up here, I think we should see a little bit more aggression from Legion.
Oh yeah, definitely. Vayne's going to have the tumble to get those last hits for now, but once she gets to the Condemn and Tarek lands a very nice dazzle, we're going to see very, very much aggression on the bottom. And of course, it's probably going to be related to whether Maokai is going to be ganking top or bottom first. If Maokai comes in for a gank on bottom lane, you can expect a lot of action centered around there. As I mentioned before, Mundo's already gone back and picked up a Heart of Gold, so he's going to be getting a lot of extra gold early on in the game. He's also picked up a couple of those health potions, so wouldn't be surprised to see him be a little more aggressive in that counter jungle game now that he has a little bit of health restoration on his side.
Yeah, looks good. I really want to see him do some counter jungle action. I'm going to actually take a look top here in just a sec, as we might have a bush gank coming in from the Maokai, having that double buff and level 4, so this could be really scary. Although, unfortunately, the creeps are all the way pushed up, so he's going to have to actually wait quite a while if he wants to get that one off successfully.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be quote-unquote worth it, because Lauda Mortis is losing time in his jungle. He is level 4, though, as Mundo seems to just be picking up his own red buff. That's going to open up to that Mundo counter jungle we keep referencing. If Mundo has the time to counter jungle, it's going to be now. We actually see Lauda Mortis saying, it's not really worth it. He's probably going to go back, pick up his Philosopher's Stone, probably a couple health potions. I don't think he has enough for anything else besides that, and actually picking up some wards to give his team a little extra vision. That's never a bad thing to do. We're just going to see him probably continue through his jungle pattern. Hopefully, as you mentioned before, gank that bottom and start a little aggression with the triple CC.
All right, so far looking pretty good. I'm waiting to see who is going to make the first move and get that first blood. Normally in these, really high stress situations, both teams are gonna normally play very carefully, but sometimes that extra aggression is what you need to get the advantage. And here we're gonna have it up top lane with the first gank. Mundo coming in, nice stun being used, but he is gonna miss the cleaver, and I think it'll be enough though. Exhaust being laid down, and Reaper gonna fall for the first blood to Koala.
Yeah, very nice gank coming up there. Like I said, it's going to be, if that Nidalee pushes the lane too hard, she's going to get punished by those Mundo ganks. And Mundo doing a really good job. I think he avoided the traps and didn't even see him coming. So even though he missed the cleavers, he was just so far overextended. The damage off it between Riven and Mundo, just enough to really melt down that Nidalee in the top lane. And Mundo's actually coming in the middle now.
Yeah, let's see if Mundo can actually land something onto the rise. I think it would be a little bit more difficult to actually get the on here without a very well-placed stun from Swift here. And so we'll have to see if that's possible. I don't think that Mundo's going to wait around for it too long. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to kind of run out and say, hey, what's up? I'm here. That's about it.
Getting the junglers tacked down there, taking a couple range minions away from Anivia. Maybe even trying to push the lane issue a little bit here. Maybe Olivia wants to go back. We do see her falling back. Could see a possible recall, but Swift was doing a really good job in the middle lane of just randomly walling the bushes over here. Try to see if Maokai was coming for a gank. You can see wards being put down by the by TGF.
Nice.
Right.
Do you see him steal that big creep?
Yes, indeed. He threw the little sapling over there. They have that ward up there to know when Mundo's going to be coming around for a gang. Also know the timer on those Wraith camps over there, so Maokai could actually do a little bit of counter jungling. Normally you'd see Mundo doing all the counter jungling, but very good job from Lotta Morris coming in there and just chucking a sapling, picking up a very nice big Wraith for himself.
Alrighty. I really like to see that kind of counter jungling action where you know, it's like, well, I can actually fight Mundo, but I've got the sapling. I'm just going to toss it right over the wall. And thank you for that.
I was going to do something from downtown here. But speaking of downtown, Maokai's finally coming on bottom, Colby.
Yeah, he's down here, and he is going to get a nice jump, but the cleanse being used. Can the flash be enough? I don't know. He is taking a lot of damage, and it's just not enough, though, from that health potion healing him up. I think might have saved him. That was a very close, I don't know, very close call, that Vayne damage. I think if he would have popped another one of his silver bullets, that would have finished him off.
Yeah, the cleanse from Ashe there really saving the day as she got condemned against the wall. Tarek got a nice dazzle down. Everything went down. With that Janna shield right now, she has it level 3. That's going to be absorbing, what, like 160-something damage right now. So no fear from that Ashe. She was barely able to hold on by the skin of her teeth in the health potion. But still, very nice gank from Legion. And like I said, that triple CC on the bottom lane, Ashe is not going to be able to withstand that. And now the lane is all Vaynes to farm. I'm getting tongue twisted now.
Yeah, no problem. And I would say in Ashe's favor, she didn't actually lose a lot of creeps from that. They weren't able to like push it up to the turret and have the turret eat away those minions, and now they're actually going to go back themselves. So so not too bad.
No, not that bad at all, actually. She's gone back and done the safe thing, picking up double Dorans and a Vampiric Scepter. Taking a quick look at the money tab, we can see that Vayne is about the same kind of gold count. She does have enough for a BF sword. It's going to be interesting to see if, since she has that sustained support in Tarek, is she going to be going for a straight damage build, or is she going to be going the kind of safe pattern that Ashe has done? It looks like double Dorans and Vampiric Scepter will be picked up for Vayne too. Actually deciding to go for those Berserker Greaves, getting a little extra attack speed, not getting the straight life leech because she does have Tarek that heals her. That sustained support is something that Ashe does not have in the bottom lane right now.
I'm waiting for this in the middle area here. I'm watching Koala, and I'm just expecting him to jump out there and go on to Raiden as soon as possible. Of course, he has full health with that blue buff. I'm curious if a gank will be successful, if he actually... I think it's going to be up to this Anivia to really poke him down and land that stun. And there it is. He was trying to bait out the damage. Right now, getting caught behind that wall. Will flash over. And can he get away? I don't think he will, as Koala does pick up yet another kill. That's the second one going to him in bottom lane. Just going to peek down here. Okay, I just saw some people on the mini-map. Thought we were going to see some action, but not going to be the case. Either way, good job. He's making a big difference here in the jungle.
Yeah, Koala's doing a very great job. Like I said, Mundo's normally not one that has super strong ganks out of the jungle, but, you know, they punished the Nidalee from being overextended up top earlier for the first blood, and then coming in doing a really great job of having Rise burn the flash over the wall before Mundo came in and just kind of finished him up. Mundo is a very tanky jungler. He got that Heart of Gold and Ninja Tabby, so he's going to be reducing all sorts of damage, gaining all the extra health that he can, and it doesn't really matter if Mundo's going to be waiting in those bushes for a little bit extra time than normal. Heart of Gold is going to equalize a little bit of that gold lost, and he's just doing a really great job of moving all around the map right now.
Yeah, and I also have to give that a large part of the credit to the Nivea baiting that out so well. Obviously, having that egg, knowing that he was super safe, even if he had gotten egged, he would have still, you know, gotten the advantage out of that. Up top, though, yeah, looks like a gank coming in onto the Riven, and she does see it in time, not even going to be able to do any damage to her.
Yeah, actually very interested to see that up top here. Nidalee was pushed back to her tower. Riven's doing a really great job of pushing back down.
Oh, bottom! We got an arrow real quick, and that is going to land onto Inubish. Could he get away? I don't know. He's going to stay in the fight, try and pop out a stun as much as he can, but Koala doing the damage just a little bit more. And another kill. That's 3. He's now on a killing spree, and this is looking really, really good for the Mundo. He's going to be really scary and hard to deal with now. Double Bub, look at that, man, just running over and doing work on to LgN right now.
Yeah, Mundo is going where he pleases, but that kill was a perfect setup from Pinku's Janna, knocking Inubish back against the wall after being hit by the arrow. It was a great job to disposition Tarek. Damonlal just does not have the damage output on Vayne right now. He has double door hands and Berserker's Greaves, 105 damage right now. That's not the biggest amount of damage from a range carry. Definitely not going to be hitting that hyper carry Vayne status until a bit later in this game, and they're just taking advantage of that right now in the bottom lane.
Yeah, definitely. So that's 1 kill for each lane. I'm curious if Mundo now is going to start camping a lane to really get the advantage in one of them, or is he just going to continue doing what he has been doing, roam into each lane.
I don't really know. It seems to be that Mundo has those Ninja Tabbies, picked up a Null Magic Mantle and another Ruby Crystal. Could be very possible to see him getting an early Spirit Visit, which just mean that Mundo is going to be able to self-sustain himself running all around the map. So it doesn't matter if he's going to be staying in one lane or roaming between them. He's just going to be an omnipresent threat wherever people may expect. He has gone back, picked up a very early Oracle's Elixir, so he's going to be denying vision left and right from Legion right now. And that is something that they really need because Mundo has all 3 kills right now, and he's the main problem for the team right now.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I would say that it's more dangerous than it appears right now. If he had been camping one lane and gotten 3 kills in one lane, that would be even worse. But I'd say luckily for Legion, they've only lost like 1 death in each lane, and that's not as bad as if one lane had been like severely crushed to the point of they can't even beat their lane opponent. But right now, it looks like middle is going to be in big trouble. Don't believe his flash is up right now. He is going to be running around that wall. And can he get out of that? Oh, no, it's going to get cleavered. I think he's going to be in a bad situation here. Mundo is not going to be really deterred by that binding. Let's see if his team can get in here in time to help out. He is going to fall. Another kill there. Swift going to be picking this one up. And now, if that Vayne doesn't get out of there, she's going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, I don't actually agree with the fact that Legion went up to try to save Rise. Whatchamacallit, a lot of Mortis is just completely out of position. I don't know if he went back to buy or just clearing a Wraith camp or something, but very out of position. It was a 4 versus 3 the entire time. When bottom lane moved up, bottom lane followed from either side. So now it looks like they're going to be positioning for a Dragon. And since Rise fell in the middle lane, not only did the kill go to Anivia, so she's going to be getting a little more farm, but now they have superior positioning and numbers for this Dragon attempt. John is even going to pop the ultimate over there just to knock a lot of Mortis out of the way, because as we saw before, he's adept at kind of just poking his head in there and stealing very important creep camp creeps. So very good job for Janna, using the ultimate to push him back out of there. We see Team Green Forest 4 kills to none right now. They have a Dragon advantage, and early game right now, I gotta say, it's going to the Forest.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. They're gonna have to make some big plays here really soon if they don't want to get snowballed too heavily against. And that's definitely something that that we see often. You know, I want to ask you a question. Did you look over the patch changes video?
To be completely honest, I have not had a chance to do that yet.
Okay. Somebody just tell me, and I kind of briefly looked at it, but I think they're going to be changing Doran's items so that they give you less health, I believe, in this upcoming patch. So that to try and discourage the popular Doran stacking. You said that you know, whenever Ashe went back, she did grab those double Dorans, and that kind of remind that to me. I was just kind of curious on your thoughts of that, if you had watched that or not. So,
well, that's very interesting, because that'd be the second time they've nerfed Doran's items. Before, they nerfed the cost and they tweaked the stats a little bit, so you couldn't start with Doran's and an extra health pot. Then they gave us the mastery that let us do the same thing anyway. So very interesting to see it. They're continuing to rework Doran's, because it is one of those items that people get in this situation and gives them this kind of advantage you really can't get out of an item that would kind of turn into another one. So they do fall off late game, but the fact you could still sell them for like 200 something gold later on, it's not a bad thing. So very interesting to see that they're deciding to rework the quote-unquote starter items.
All right, well, so far just a little bit of poking, no real heavy engages going on, just kind of watching the lanes here. And I'm curious what Legion can do at this point to kind of come back. I think they're going to have to really worry about these wards. And up top lane looks like another gank coming in. Legion, though, just not able to actually catch that ribbon. It's so easy for her to get out of those ganks. She's got those 4 different dashes that she can use to escape from those situations, and the only stun being Maokai's. I just don't see much happening there, especially with her now. She's got the Ninja Tab by Wriggles Lantern, not going to be taking a lot of AD damage from that AD Nidalee.
No, not at all. She just basically has all the mechanisms she needs to escape from that Maokai. Nidalee really just needs to try to farm, but that Riven, after she got the assist gold and has a little bit of a creep advantage right now, sorry, disadvantage. She's only about 3 behind, but still, she's going to be dealing a lot more raw damage than that Nidalee is in the earlier stages of the game, and she's riding that advantage as hard as she possibly can right now, because once that AD Nidalee starts hitting a little bit later in the game, she is going to be hitting like a truck. You can see she's already picked up her Fig. No idea if she's going to be going for a Trinity Force build or Frozen Mallet Atmos. We'll have to keep it pay attention to that one in a little bit, but we see Swift taking down a tower over here, and Team Green Forest already riding those advantages in the early game that they really need to kind of snowball into the later game when a lot of these champions such as Ryze, Nidalee, and Vayne really start becoming big problems for Legion.
Yeah, it looks like right now Nidalee seems to be doing a great job of doing the trade against that Riven. Of course, she does have great life still. We'll see how it comes out in the end as she does pick up more items. Like you said, it should be a little bit stronger in her favor. But bottom lane looks like it's going to get ganked. There is the arrow onto Inumish. And once again, Koala coming in here. Exhaust being placed down. I think he will definitely fall. Nice. Tornado knocks him up. And bam, once again, another kill. And wow. Just such a huge presence. Everywhere Koala goes, death lies in wake.
Yeah, this is true, and he's doing a really good job now giving the kills to other people. We see already here there's an Oracle's jungler fight. As a lot of Mortis are going to get caught a little out of position, not realizing that everybody was still hiding in that bush. He's going to be taking a decent amount of damage from Mundo, but finally just kind of backing him off, so not too much collateral damage there. But Mundo, as I mentioned, doing this really great job of starting to give the kills to the lane partner. So he had the first couple kills for his team just to give extra mobility, a little more of an advantage in the jungle, and it was going to keep him a little higher level than a lot of Mortis' Maokai, making sure that he was able to gank and keep the level advantage rather than having to go back and go into his jungle and not be able to give the ever-present gank presence. But now he's starting to give kills. He saw giving a kill to Anivia in the middle lane. We saw him give this kill to Ashe, so Liquidity is going to have a very nice advantage over that Vayne carry, which he really needs before Vayne hits like hyper carry, I have silver bullets, all your HP is gone kind of thing she does in the later stages of the game. And now it's just doing a really, really great job of, he's helped on every single kill for this team. If you look at Mundo, 3-0 and 2 out of all 5 kills. He's just really, he's kind of like the glue that's starting to hold TGF together right now.
Exactly, and he's doing a great job. A lot of Mortis coming up top, wants to help out as much as possible for Reaper. And Mundo had just left that lane, so he is going to kind of be on his own for this, but I think he's going to be good. He's going to be fine. He's got that ward there, so not too much to worry about. Actually going to be going up and being brave. He's got Koala coming in to help out, and could he take this Oracle's down? That is definitely a big goal for them to take down. She is going to flash in. She really wants to get this kill, and will that ultimate be enough? Doesn't look like it is going to take him down. Now with Ryze there, that could be really bad for first kill. Going to right end for purple team, and arrow comes up, nice landing on a lot of Mortis. Will it be enough to take him down? It might actually bait him, but yeah, he does lose his Sporkles. Yep, there goes. He is going to fall to that. Koala finally dying. Killing spree bonus going to be going to looks like Reaper there, and Swift going to be taken down. Just don't think he's going to get up in time to finish off right end here.
I don't think so. It's going to be really close. And no, barely not enough. So very, very good job from Legion right there. That's the kind of thing they needed to happen. Middle lane coming up, and then Anivia was a little late on the follow-up, so they're able to really bait out that kill. Coming onto, I believe it was it Mundo was the first one? We actually saw in the bottom lane, though, we missed entirely that Damunlal and Inumish were able to pick up a kill on Ashe after she fired that arrow. So yeah, and that's actually 4 kills to 1 now. So now all of a sudden, whereas a 5-0, it's a 6-4 game, and Legion's looking like they've been in this all along.
Yeah, definitely. That really turned out in their favor. I mean, they got maybe a little bit too greedy coming in like that, and Legion showing that, you know, maybe they had a little bit of a rough start, but that doesn't mean they're a bad team. They know how to come up and support everybody, and they made that big play that I was talking about was important for them to do. So. Definitely going to be really paying off in their favor, and especially that's another thing that makes me think about next patch is that they're actually increasing the amount of experience and gold you get for killing somebody who's higher level than you are, in order to really help teams come back from being behind. So I think there's a lot of things that are going to be really changing in this upcoming patch to be really excited about.
Yeah, actually, that's a very interesting thought, because we're seeing right here that Mundo, he had that early advantage where he's been there on every single kill. A lot of Mortis now, still only level 9 despite picking up kills and a bunch of actually not picking up any kills, picking up 2 assists and a death in that top lane. So even though Mundo, you know, he has like 20-something CS on him, on a lot of Mortis' jungle, he has 4 kills on him. you know, he's still about a level and a half above Mortis, where if you're saying they're going to be changing the experience you get for that kind of stuff, killing someone a higher level and more ahead of than you in the game, we could probably see like Mortis and junglers and even like those lanes that, you know, just really get abused and then someone comes up to help and they get back, such as this Nidalee in the top lane. That could just be a huge splash where all of a sudden like the lane could completely turn around because of one failed gank. That's going to put a lot more pressure on junglers, I think.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that their goal behind that, which Merla was saying, is that they really want to make it possible for the supports to catch back up after roaming around the map. So possibly trying to put more emphasis on roaming plays. Oh, this is going to be bad for Pinku as he runs right into the bush. Everybody is waiting there. Arrow going to be used, but cleanse right afterwards, and Mortis is going to fall to this if they get a few more attacks. Oh, wow, Swift almost actually helping him escape on that one.
Yeah, and actually no one expected Swift to be hiding in that bush with Mundo. They thought it was a 3-on-3, and they got the jump on Janna. All of a sudden, it was a 4 versus 3. Right, and a little miscommunication from this team. They're not letting them know that Anivia's not in lane, guys. And that even though they got a tower up top in the middle of this, it looks like Nidalee's actually be chasing down Riven. Riven's going to be chasing down Nidalee. I don't know. Everyone's bouncing around, and looks like the bunny with the carrot takes out the cougar with the hopscotch. So we got Riven pick up a kill on Nidalee. Even though she got the tower, that's another dragon going to TGF. And what looked like Legion was coming back into this one. They're still only about a 2.5k gold deficit right now. Probably a little more after this bottom tower falls, but still 8-4. Legion's not out of this yet, but TGF seems to be, after that little bit of a miscommunication kind of goof in the top lane, they've really started getting their act together, and they're just on the same kind of path that they were, you know, like 2 or 3 minutes earlier into the game. Yeah,
that's too unfortunate. I really thought they would have been able to take out the Janna there, but she was just too strong, keeping herself alive, and they were able to pick up that dragon and a kill out of that. All right, well, let's see what Legion is going to do to come back from that. They've already lost now 2 towers, but they are at least keeping it even, so they're not behind on that global area. They are down 2 dragons, however, so they will need to keep an eye on that. And now at 21 minutes, we're probably going to start seeing some contesting over the Baron area, and we'll see if they can get those wards up and make sure they don't lose at this point. So you're going to see more people kind of focused around that top area and probably just one on the bottom so that they don't give up that advantage.
Actually, speaking of map coverage and everything right now, we're taking a look at TGF. They have the entire river warded. They had the enemy blue buff area kind of warded. They have their own little blue buff area warded. And taking a look at Legion, they're a little bit in the dark with only like 2 or 3 wards on the map compared to like the 6 or 7 that TGF has. So TGF, with that Mundo roaming around ganking everywhere, they had no idea Anivia was in that bottom lane. Most of that reason is because they have such a huge advantage on map control right now.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, good point. Map control is always a huge deal, especially when I do my my commentaries of like low elo matches. I pay attention to what there's no wards anywhere. No wonder these guys are not doing great. I mean, obviously not always the case in these high elo matches, but you can definitely tell when someone's got a clear advantage when you look at the wards being placed around the map as to you know who's got that clear advantage at that point.
Definitely. If you could see where they are, you also know where they are not, and you can act and react efficiently. If you could see the enemy team, you know what's going to happen. And wards just win games, guys. So you got to keep that in mind. But we got a little bit of a skirmish going on, 5v5 over this top tower now.
Let's see if Liquidity can just sit there and poke down that tower without getting caught. Actually, he is going to get grabbed into the tower range. Oh, no, never mind. That was the Riven. But either way, they just don't want to take too much poke here. They have no heals. So as soon as they get a little bit low HP, they're going to have to back off and hope that they don't get engaged on too heavily. Of course, Legion really do have a great engaged team. If they can have a lot of Mortis just jump onto somebody, then they're going to have a really nice stun chain going on with their 4 stun champions.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that TGF's doing this. You can see right here, Rise getting a rune prison down. If they snag someone in that tower range, they have 4 things of CC that are going to say that they are going to die no matter what happens. And although Swift was going in with that Anivia, he does have that egg form, so not necessarily the best one to kind of be baiting the crowd control onto. But right now, TGF, I don't know if they're winning or losing out in this one. Their middle lane and bottom lanes are kind of pushing in favor of Legion, and they're poking back and forth. Like I said, if they get this right here, they're going to be getting an arrow down onto that Rise. He's going to be going on. Mortis is a little out of position, trying to chase down everybody. Gets his ultimate down in the wrong place, though. That's going to prompt Mundo to pick up a kill on that Nidalee. Mortis is still stuck in that Anivia ultimate. He's going to be the next one to fall, and even though Legion had all that crowd control, they kind of just went in different directions at different times, and Riven is also going to fall down here and pick up a kill onto Rise. So now, only with the bottom lane left up, that is a 3-for-none in favor of Team Green Forest, and I think the little dance of death around that tower kind of paid off, because they're going to knock it down and maybe then some.
Yeah, it looked like they really felt confident in going in onto that. They got Swift really low. Probably kind of what he wanted them to do, in fact, as I believe he has his egg form up, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he does.
Yes, he does.
And so they ended up taking 2 towers out of that. Really, really nice exchange. And
yeah,
in fact, it's not even an exchange, just really nice push.
They're just kind of taken. They're not really given. You know, there's like no spirit of Christmas for everything here. Team Green Forest being a little greedy, but hey, it worked out for them here. And, you know, Legion's really going to have to reevaluate their kind of strategy. And I think mainly with the substitutions for their team right now, their team communication is not nearly as spot on as TGF. And we could see that, especially in the evidence of that team fight. Rise got the kind of stun down on Anivia. A lot of Mortis went in to try to take down Anivia, even though she had her egg form up, where the rest of Legion kind of fell back. Tried focusing down on Ashe, kind of tried focusing down on Riven, and things just didn't really pay out for them, that situation. So if they can get their team communication down on Skype a little bit better, I think that they could really come back. And if they chain those CCs like we've been talking about all game, we really haven't seen the pure power of the chain CC coming out from Legion's composition. And if they're able to land those, it's going to be very, very effective for them in these team fights. Like I said, they still have a late game oriented team where they have that Nidalee, they have Vayne, and they have Rise on their team. So once, you know, they can last a little bit longer and get those crowd controls down in a fight, Team Green Forest could just evaporate under the sheer late game pressure that Legion has. But right now, their team communication is kind of looking like they're still stuck in the early game.
Yeah, I think that Legion, I was just taking a look at that myself, and I was like, man, Legion really needs to play a lot safer, because if they can just last it out to late game, they've got amazing hyper carry you know, ability here with Rise and Vayne alone. And then on the other hand, you know, Ashe is more of just that support carry, but at this point she's just way stronger than Vayne, just with her auto attacks. You know, Vayne hasn't built up all of her attack speed items as of yet.
No, Vayne actually just going back and picking up his heal now, whereas Ashe already has an Infinity Edge and a Phantom Dancer. That's going to be attributed to the fact that even though she only has 1 more kill than Vayne and she has a death, there's 5 assists in there from all those team fights that Team Green Forest has been winning. So that's going to attribute to the fact that they also have about a 7K, 6.5K gold advantage right now. They've gotten every single dragon on this map now as they pick up the 3rd one. Ooh, field goal from Ashe's Arrow right there. It goes between the Rise and the Maokai. But the late game is about to happen right now. It's about 27 minutes into the game, and Legion really just needs a little bit more farm before their hyper carries start, well, hyper carrying. We have Nidalee, who already has her Trinity Force. We have Rise with the Banshee's Veil. I don't exactly know how many stacks he has on that tier of the goddess. He's approaching 650 stacks, and he's probably going to be picking up a Glacial Shroud pretty soon, turning out into a Frozen Heart. It's just a couple thousand more gold, and Legion's going to hit like that peak where their characters really kind of start to spiral out of control. And if Team Green Forest can take them down before that, or get them in a bad fight before those items come up and the communication's still a little awry, they're going to be able to take this game down from Legion before they really get to the chance where their characters come into full fruition in the game.
So right now we're just seeing some real standard kind of poke back and forth, trying to keep the lanes pressured so that they can take an advantage when they do see it. And Spears being tossed out, not going to be as deadly as if we had full AP Nidalee, which is, you know, it's fine. And right now, I'm just waiting until we see some kind of Baron bait action, or them possibly able to take one of these turrets down. I just don't think that Legion really is going to be able to do the same kind of pressure at the turret that TGF was able to do currently.
No, and actually they really want to back out of position here. They are a little spread thin, and that awkward positioning around that cliff by the jungle area, not where you want to be if your team's really focused around getting CC down and really going down on the same champion as a team. So they're wisely falling back to the tower. I think this is where they're going to be the strongest right now. Having Team Green Forest come in and have to try to poke them off a tower, waiting until one of those champions overextends into tower range or overextends to a point where they can really get that chain CC down, and then just really just farming off of the creeps that are coming at them in the lane. We can see Mundo has gone back to go towards the top tower, so I won't be surprised if Legion decides to really push out here, although Rise is going back, so they may just kind of sit back and farm, and that's what they really need to do at this point. If Vayne and Rise and everybody, as we keep saying, they're going to farm up, they're going to be good, they're going to farm up and be good, I think Team Green Forest is going to be the one that actually has to react first, even though they have a very comfortable lead right now. Riven has her first Bloodthirster, she has a Brutalizer and Wriggle's Lantern, so she's not going to die anytime soon. Mundo, of course, is going to be the tanky beast that Mundo is, and he's not going to fall down anytime soon. But once again, that Ashe, not the tankiest character in the game, but even though she has a lot of items right now, if Legion's able to chain CC down on Ashe, that's a lot of the damage output for Team Green Forest at this point.
Oh yeah, totally. She's been doing a lot of work in the background there, especially just keeping people slowed. Lots of support coming in from that. Spear not doing really anything to Koala. He's just going to regen that back in no time. So here we go. We're seeing lots of pressure being placed onto that Baron area. And luckily, Mundo does have that Oracle, so he's going to be able to just strip all kind of vision. It's going to make it really difficult for Legion to know what's going on here. They're going to have to really just decide when to go in there very carefully. What kind of wards do they have left? Let's take a look. They have just a few left, 3 ready to go. So once those wards are done being placed down, it's going to be a lot easier for TGF to really bait this out.
Actually, Reaper's doing a really good job of harassing the Spears. Every single one of them, Ashe seems to like walking into him and catching with their face, and they don't have a sustained support, so there's no heal for Ashe, and that's actually going to kind of force TGF back, because like I said, if they take Ashe out, that's a primary source of their damage, so now TGF has to back the positioning off of Baron. I don't agree Legion spreading out and kind of trying to chase them down. I think maybe if they went to try to force a Baron fight, or even just decide to go and push the lane after that one, it would have been a little bit more advantageous for them, but now Liquidity is just going to be able to farm off of those creeps, get his health back up because he has ridiculous amounts of lifesteal at this point. Vampiric Scepter and 2 Doran's Blades, you don't necessarily think of that as ridiculous amounts of lifesteal, but when you're packing an Infinity Edge and a Phantom Dancer and Ashe's passive to crit for basically 100% if you don't attack for a little bit of time, that's basically the same as like having a support champion come up and heal you.
Mm-hmm. Very good point. Now, they've already taken out this turret at the top lane, so they said, hey, guys, what the heck? Let's go take down this inhibitor. There's not much they can do to stop us, and let's see if they can actually go on in this. They're actually going to back off. Seems like a smart choice. They don't want to make any huge mistakes at this point with the lead that they have. There's no reason for them to be too crazy. Just waiting for those creeps, and that's going to help them out tremendously, I believe. Going to stop some skill shots, but there they go. Arrow going to be used. Reaper gets out of there very easily. A lot of Mortis jumps in the middle to try and make something happen, using his ultimate, not really on top of his teammates, though, just using it on himself. So they are able to take down the Riven, and that Vayne needs to continue on with that advantage. If he can chase everybody down, that should be good. But yeah, they're just going to let them go at this point, not wanting to give up any more mistakes.
And that was the kind of team crowd control that you really wanted to see out of Legion in the previous team fight. Even though Lord of Mortis kind of went down a little more on his own, popped the ultimate, they did a really good job of focusing down on Riven and kind of spacing her out from the rest of the team. Lord of Mortis a little bit tankier than he was in the last engagement. He has the pieces for his Warden, has the Warden's Veil, pieces for Randuin's Omen going to be popping up soon, so he has more HP, he has more armor, he's a little bit tankier, and like I said, even though TGF had the advantage and they were just slowly riding it, try to go into victory, just the team composition of Legion is going to punish them for being a little bit passive at this point in the game, and as we saw there, Lord of Mortis is able to do what he wanted to do last time, tank enough damage to separate that Riven, who is a very, very big threat for the team right now. She's really tanky and still getting a lot of damage out, and they were able to melt her down with the chain crowd control from Riven, the chain crowd control from that Rise, and of course the sheer damage output from Nidalee with that Trinity Force Sheen proc. So much damage coming down on that Riven, and now, I don't know about this, but Legion's starting to crawl the way back into this one.
Yeah, I have to say that that's kind of what I was expecting to see. It's going to be coming down to the positioning that Vayne is able to place on herself, and since they were able to pick off Riven so quickly, and Vayne was just sitting there in the back, she did so much work onto the team. I was really thinking that Riven was going to go for a Guardian Angel here, but it looks like she's going for Giant Spell, so she's going to be picking up just health rather than just that ability to revive herself. We'll see how that works out for her, if it's going to be in her favor or not.
And Team Green Forest is really just going to have Riven and Mundo. They're two really tanky characters. Just try to collapse down onto that Vayne. Mundo, I'm actually surprised he stuck around back towards the back of the fight in that one. He really needs to be that tank with Riven to add to that disruption. And they're going to be trying to push down this inhibitor again. Let's see if they've learned from any mistakes they've had in the last engagement.
Yeah, they really need to get there onto that Vayne. Once Vayne goes down, they've got a really easy time finishing him off. They don't have a lot of extra damage, I mean, other than just Raiden sitting there. Swift taking a bit of the poke from Raiden, but here it is, the full-on engage. Will they be able to make something happen? Nice ultimate from Pinku, really separating everybody out there. A lot of Mercy goes down extremely quickly, and down goes Nidalee. This is looking great for TGF so far. Going to be turning their attention now to Inumish. Inumish going to go down. Boom, last attack from Swift finishes him off, and that's going to be the inhibitor for a 3-0 exchange plus the inhib. And I think they're just going to turn their attention and continue pushing in. They've got the cannon minion there. They're going to take this down. Could they end the game here? It might actually be in their favor to just continue pushing. All they've got to worry about is Vayne, which she's scary, but not by herself.
No, Rise is still there, but he's not taking enough to really take on the rest of this team. Vayne's doing a great job of getting stunned. No, Vayne's going to go down, and I think that might be it for Legion right now. Liquidity picking up a kill.
And they are that's ace.
That is just deadly right now. Legion, they had the advantage with that really great ultimate from Inca. We see Anivia taking the power shot going to egg form right there, but they're going to be getting the Nexus down. But that turning point of that fight was that John ultimate dispositioning Legion from the great focus they had down on 1 or 2 targets. And look how low everyone on TGF is, but they just couldn't finish the game there.
Yeah, I have to say that MVP of that last fight was definitely Janna, really just dispositioning everyone so perfectly. And they're like, all right, let's win it. They got the ace, took down the Nexus so quickly. And yeah, I really feel like Legion would have won that if they had just waited a little bit longer. They didn't have such a bad early game. So big props to Mundo for really pushing in there and getting so many kills early on and putting that pressure on to the early game and kind of catapulting them into the lead at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really, really hard-fought game all around, but like we mentioned, Team Green Forest did a really great job of pushing every single advantage that they had, not letting Legion become the hypercarriers in the late stages of the game. The dispositioning by John in the end was just clutch as she just took everybody off of the target they were focusing down. All the crowd control went down to basically naught because they weren't able to continue the collapse. It kind of knocked Lord of Mortis into the rest of the team, between him and Reaper being in the middle of the fight and then the rest of the damage dealers just kind of being knocked back towards where that fallen inhibitor was. It just was not the kind of engagement they wanted. And Team Green Forest, I mean, they were really impressive that game.
Yep, definitely. And now we'll be heading on to the final.